might be more about the finishers than the starters in this game, because Villa's bench, very experienced. They haven't actually filled it, and they've got 2 goalkeepers on there, whereas Brighton, you feel like they've got players to change the game should they be required.
Yeah, I think so. I think looking at Villa's lineup today and the subs on the bench, I feel like they're missing players, obviously, that they've brought in. Important players as well, in terms of Gabby Nunes, Lucy Staniforth. So potentially maybe some injuries there, and maybe a little bit light on the bench today.
As Seke chasing after McLaughlin's ball. Seke did take a whack in the face from a ball in the warm-up. She's had a check to make sure that she's okay. And as you can see, she clearly is. 6 goals in the WSL last season for Kiko Seke. 3 of them came on opening day against Everton here. So Sabrina D'Angelo starting in goal for Aston Villa. They've signed Ellie Roebuck. She's on the bench. But D'Angelo was ever present in the WSL last season. She's part of the leadership group as well. So it's her shirt to lose, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. It's not an unexpected one for me. I think it's just fantastic for Aston Villa that they've got that competition now, 2 really solid, important goalkeepers, and there'll be exciting competition between them off the pitch in training, I'm sure.
Brighton, who had their best ever season in the WSL last term. Highest finish, most points gained, and 9 more points than the previous season. So it's a pretty impressive turnaround, but still a big old gap for them to bridge. Between Champions League qualification, there was 16 points behind that. As for Villa, I think they would have been pretty pleased finishing 6th after the start they had. It looked as though they might be in the conversation for relegation for a reasonably large period of the season. They've really turned that round in the second half of the campaign. There's Kearns. Maritz does have options either side. Just put a little bit too much on the pass for Hansen, and it came back off her and behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, but that's a positive start for Aston Villa. For me, I think that's what they did towards the back end of last season really well. Once they do get the ball, they counter and they transition really quickly, so they'll look to get up the field as quick as possible and get towards the opposition's goal.
Brighton view Chimaka Nnadozie as a really big signing for them, the goalkeeper making her debut today. Saved 2 penalties in the Coupe de France final win against PSG last season. Vastly experienced Nigerian international. Straight in from the start today. Grant unable to keep it in play over on the far side. Another player had a strong end to last season, Chastity Grant.
Even a little bit different there from Brighton, though, wasn't it? I think what we're used to seeing so often is them get the ball down and play out from the back, and maybe at times last season forced that a bit too much. So we can see today they're not afraid to go direct from the off.
That's the kind of evolution I think you want from your manager in terms of the approach to play, learning the lessons. Here's Maritz. Decent ball in toward Daly. Brighton shirts far outweighing the Villa ones there. Kirby unable to get hold of it, though. Visitors will be pretty pleased with how they've started here. Here's Kearns, who was on the standby list for the Lionesses squad for the European Championship in the summer. Well, Brighton would like to dominate possession, but they're struggling to get a touch of the ball at the moment.
Yeah, Villa have started well. They're just being patient with the ball, playing obviously from one side to the other, and I think, as you see here, they'll show a turn of pace and they do try and get on the ball. But I think we're going to find this within the first 10-15 minutes. Both teams finding their feet into a new season, sussing out the opposition. So I'm sure it'll open up a little bit more.
Brighton had a brilliant pre-season. Thrashed Palace 5-0 and went to Spain. And a couple of games there they won 2, including an 8-0. Here's Seke going for goal. Didn't get the power that she was looking for. Comfortable for D'Angelo, but the ball in her gloves for the first time this season.
But again, as we see here, they're not afraid to go direct. They'll play the ball into Kiko Seke, and she's just tried to lob D'Angelo there. It obviously didn't come off at that occasion.
Now it's Villa's turn to attack. Here's Ebony Salmon. And one with Minamini. Decent ball as well. McLaughlin not going to be able to catch up to that. Had 4 years at Real Sociedad before making the switch, Natalia Arroyo. Did take her a couple of games to get up to speed with the WSL. You see Sean Goater still a part of her coaching staff, having taken charge of a couple of games during the transition from Depor to Arroyo. It's Patton playing it into the left channel. Maritz will do well to catch up to it. She's at least prevented it going behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, I think what you're saying about Natalia Arroyo as well, I think she comes in and she instills that belief and that mentality into the team. I think they were obviously, as you say, in that relegation battle last season, but they felt a bit of a freedom to go and play under her and express themselves, and I like that about her as a coach.
All about trying to bridge the gap for these two teams. They don't want to just be the best of the rest. Here's Simons. He did the instruction from the bench to turn. Well, she might have overran it indeed. She was unable to link up with Haley. Well, Villa didn't really want the season to end. Finish with 5 successive victories in the WSL. It's their longest ever winning run.
And didn't they do it in some style up against Arsenal last season in that 5-2 win? They played fantastically well in that game.
Yeah, both these teams with big wins over Arsenal as their campaign reached its conclusion. And Hansen down and in obvious discomfort here. She's going to need some help.
Yeah, she looks to be in quite a bit of pain here. You see, it looks like it's a case of knees clashing. Hopefully not too much of a serious one for Kirsty Hansen.
Yeah, the hope with that is it's the impact, which is incredibly painful but not long-lasting. Easy for us to say that, of course.
I mean, it's happened to me, and they do hurt. They do hurt, but hopefully they settle down quicker than they come on.
Particularly, as we've mentioned, because Villa are short of options on the bench. Kirsty Hansen, like her team, finished this season strongly. 3 goals all came in March and April.
Yeah, someone we're used to seeing potentially come on in that position is obviously a Gabby Nunes, to come on in that, bolster the forward line a little bit, but she's not on the bench today. So potentially maybe she's picked up a knock in pre-season. So as you say, the bench slightly light, and hopefully she can come back from this little knock.
Just needed a minute to catch her breath as much as anything else, I think. Gives Brighton the chance for a reset as well. Villa have started the game very much on the front foot. A couple of moments on the counter for Brighton, but not able to set the tone for the game in the way that they would have wanted, with them being the home side. Again, playing at the home of Crawley Town this season. Paul Barber, the chief executive, hoping that Brighton will have a new stadium ready to go for 27-28. No such thing as a contested drop ball these days, of course. So Dozy can roll it out to Minami. And Jumang able to get that under control, bashed in hard at her.
You can see already there as the ball goes inside Jumang, there's already 2 or 3 Aston Villa players crowding round her, so they've obviously identified her as one of the threats for today.
And again, that's a new challenge for her to face, right? She's not an unknown quantity anymore. Here's McLaughlin. Stepped away from Daly, moved it off to Simons. And pinched back by Hansen. Now then, awful lot of room between her and the goal. Nothing in the way of support either. She's going to have to do it all herself. She got the effort on target. And now she might feel like she wants to look around and say, where was everybody? Decent chance on the breakaway for Villa, but Hansen had to do it all on her own.
Yeah, it's just sloppy play early on the halfway line from Minami, and then she's got to try and track back. And as you say, Kirsty Hansen driving into the box, but players can't get up there in time with her. And she's tried to take it round. Minami have a little dink over the keeper, but again, it just lacks pace right at the final minute. But early signs of a little bit of sloppiness there from.
Deslandes testing out her goalkeeper's kicking ability. Here's Kirby. Oh, Rule once bitten, twice shy. Wanted to make sure she got that pass just right for Nadozie. Good pressing from Villa, though. And Nadozie dealt with it well and found McLaughlin. Simons will look to get Brighton over halfway here. She wanted to play the early ball out to the left-hand side. It's great tracking back from Madison Haley, albeit she wasn't able to dispossess Grant.
Yeah, you can see Maisie Simons with the right idea there. She's tried to obviously look up left to find Madison Haley out on the left-hand side. It's been cut out, but early signs of what we're trying to see Brighton do, pick it up in the middle and then trying to do an early switch out onto the wings and into the full-back. Just didn't pay off that time.
Here's Maritz. McLaughlin quickly in. Wouldn't quite break for Hansen. Lovely little spin from Rule. Really quick to win possession back, though. Here's Rachel Daly. As we suspected, Fern, Daly playing a slightly withdrawn role behind Salmon and Hansen. Can make it difficult to pick up, can't it?
Yeah, it's a role we got used to seeing her play last season, so she cemented that role a little bit more behind the front too. But make no mistake, when she does get the ball in those areas, and she is a danger and she will get in the box. She's got a good aerial presence about her, but obviously she will do the tracking back and a little bit of the dirty work as well that we like to see Rachel Daly do.
Yeah, 8 goals in the WSL for her last season. Here's Hansen, shaking off that knee knot. A decent ball in as well, but there was nobody in claret and blue there to benefit from it. And it's Villa who are asking the questions in the opening stages here.
Exactly that. They're getting the balls in the box. It's just the two centre halves that are unoccupied there. Aston Villa need to break their necks and get bodies into the box.
Here's DeLong. Can play as a centre-half or a left-back, Oceane Delonde. Part of a back three for Villa today. Now, this is more like what we were used to seeing from Brighton last season.
It is. They like to be patient in and around their own box. And potentially, again, we've seen them go long again here, so it's obviously something they're trying to set up.
Haley's done brilliantly with that. Options left and right. She's trying to find Seke, goalkeeper off her line and just able to smother it. Sabrina D'Angelo. It was a painful intervention, but a vital one from the Villa keeper.
Yeah, Aston Villa expecting Brighton to play out there, and you know they're not afraid this time to go long into the feet of Haley, and then obviously what they need in around then is Adjumang, people getting around Haley, and she'll need those feet, but she does really well with the holder play in the first instance. We see here she goes direct, strong from Madison Haley, gets a chance to face up, and obviously playing it through. D'Angelo coming in, not afraid to come off her box, and it's brave goalkeeping from here.
Yeah, Seke obviously had to go for this, albeit D'Angelo in doing the same knew she was going to get clattered. Here's Maritz, whose European Championship came to a slightly premature end, sent off in stoppage time of Switzerland's Euro quarter-final defeat to Spain. Kirby. Here's Adjumang. First sight of goal for her, maybe. No room for a shot as Villa crowd the box. McLaughlin might have a go, and D'Angelo turned it away, and on the follow-up, that could go anywhere. And in the end, it's just wide. And for all that Villa have been dominant in terms of possession, Brighton on the counter, looking more than capable. Jelena Cankovic going close.
Yeah, it actually came from some early pressure there and high up from Brighton. We've seen them used to doing it. McLaughlin gets it out of her feet to get the shot off, and they just can't quite get the follow-up into the net. But it's a great bit of positive play from Brighton that when they do get it and they press high, it was Frank Kirby who originally started the move to get it into Michelle Adjumang, so it's a good bit of positive play from them.
Delonde. Bit risky from Maritz looking for Kearns, and Maisie Simon's got a toe to it. She felt the throw-in should have gone her way. Dario Vidicic knows what it takes to win a league title. He did it with Melbourne City in the A-League. That's not his brief for Brighton. But they do want continual year-on-year improvement. And that will only come with stability. He's the man they hope is going to provide that. McLaughlin's had a strong start to the game. Here she is, looking for the give and go with Seike. Good defending from Delonde. Nice turn from Kearns to get away from Kirby. He's looking for the big switch, but asking too much of Grant.
She was, and I think they'll look for that time and time again to get that early switch over to Chastity Grant. What she'll use is a pace down that right-hand side. They couldn't quite make it work that time, but what I like is how high the full-backs are, the wing-backs are on both sides, and just trying to join in with their attack.
Too much attention paid to Haley on that occasion. Jankovic smacking it from left to right, looking for Seike. I don't think was expecting to get it, but Maritz missed it. Here's Kirby. McLaughlin available. She came back out to Seike. Now McLaughlin does get involved, and she can get a shot away here. Rachel McLaughlin all the way through to Haley, and Kirby to tap it in. But her joy is short-lived. Assistance flag raised immediately on this near side, and I think Fran Kirby knew that that was coming.
Yeah, I think she did, but again, dangerous signs from Brighton here, you know, pushing up high out on this right-hand side. I think Kiko Seike does extremely well. Fran Kirby does well to play with her, and again, it's McLaughlin with the shot. Madison Haley trying to get it out of her feet and poaching from Fran Kirby, but obviously in an offside position on this occasion. But it's signs from Brighton that they, you know, they can get in front of goal, and taking their opportunities, they will do so.
Really important nick off Wilms, looking at the replay again there from the shot from Haley, who's trying to win the ball back for Brighton here, who are having a good spell. Adjumang wants it and gets it, but couldn't keep it. And Byings will be able to bring it clear for Villa. Momentum swinging one way and then the other in the opening 18 minutes here. Adjumang immediately making her way into the penalty area, looking for the cross. Here she is. Can she get the shot away? Another important Villa intervention, that time from Anna Patton.
Good defending here from Anna Patton, just to get her body across. Big defending, big tackle there, not to let Adjumang get a shot in on goal.
Kirby. Too much on that for Seike to get involved with. She might have been in an offside position anyway. But Brighton on the front foot at the moment.
Yeah, as you say, she might have been in an offside position, but the vision from Fran Kirby to try and get her over there first time, you can see exactly what they're trying to do, using their experience to try and take the momentum that they've got at this game and produce a goal, because it'll be really important going in for the second half of first half.
Now then, Sabrina D'Angelo was involved in a collision a few moments ago, but from the way she's gone down, I'm not sure that that is what's caused her the issue here. Lots of controversy around goalkeepers getting treatment on the pitch during the game. It's the one position where you don't have to go off for 30 seconds if you need some attention.
Yeah, and they are actually under the cosh a little bit, aren't they, at the minute, Aston Villa, so potentially a little bit of tactical.
Well, as we said, Ellie Roebuck is on the bench. It's the collision either with Patton or with Kirby that's given her the issue here, D'Angelo.
Yeah, she seems to be all right off the back end of that collision. You see she even gets up and gives a defender a little bit of a pat on the back, saying well done for saving me there. So hopefully she's not too injured from this last collision.
Of course, they've got to take every available precaution when it's a head injury or a potential head injury. Well, let Leroy Buckle go and get loose anyway.
Yeah, what a fantastic addition she is to the side. And
she hasn't come here to be second choice, has she?
Exactly, not a bad stand-in to have to come into goal, isn't it? So for me, the experience she brings, obviously going out to Barcelona last season, coming back, she'll want to be stamping her place on the side. She's obviously gone through a lot personally off the pitch as well with her illness, so it's great to see that she's back in the side, and I feel like she's had a good pre-season under her belt and will be going to really compete for this #1 spot.
Which is why D'Angelo will be loath to leave the field unless it's totally necessary. Well, we're going to have a fair chunk of stoppage time at the end of the first half here.
Yeah, they've done some shrewd recruitment, Aston Villa, over the course of the summer. I think not just on field as well, but some off-pitch and background appointments in terms of they got a new director of football in, Marissa Ewers, former player, Maggie Murphy as well, coming in as their managing director. So you can see they're trying to build in and around as well for the future, not just on-field, but off-field developments.
Yeah, and they sold 90% to Aston Villa's parent company of the club. 10% to external investors. Will be playing at Villa Park again this season. Well, if you're Brighton, as cynical as this sounds, you want to try and test Sabrina D'Angelo as quickly as possible now. Here's Kirby looking to do just that. And that was an easy one for the Villa keeper to pluck from the sky under no pressure. Quickly looking to get her team moving with Grant. Salmon made a good early run. Hansen's in the middle. Daly's getting up in support as well. Heavy touch from Salmon, though. Allows Minami to put it out for a throw.
Again, just little glimpses of what we can see from Aston Villa. They like to play quick, they like to play on the counter and in transition. And when they do that, they can be very dangerous.
Delond. Kern's very congested in that middle third of the pitch at the moment. Hansen's found some space wide left. Well, right across the face of the 6-yard box as well. Begged a touch from somebody.
Yeah, it starts off with Daly in the middle here and then comes out to Hansen, who gets a look up, gets a touch into the box. You can see what she's trying to do. She's trying to get across that 6-yard box, but again, nobody's close enough. She'll be demanding that from her team and from her centre forwards. No one is occupying the Brighton back line.
So just keeping Nadozi honest. Okay, the goalkeeper opted to go long. Cushion from McLaughlin looking for Kirby. He feathered it on in the direction of Seike. You would have felt that, even though she's not letting it be known. Still probably smarting from the blow to the head she took in the warm-up. Patton. One of those who was a regular on the team sheet for Villa last season. Anna Patton, they'll be leaning on her experience again this time around. Nadozi not with a serious save to make yet, just that one effort from Hansen, which she would have backed herself to keep out and did so comfortably. Brighton looking the more likely, just past the midway point of the first half. McLaughlin, clever ball, touched off first time then to Kirby. Never wastes a pass, Fran Kirby. Oh, McLaughlin has there, though. Minami couldn't get there. Here's Salmon, who was expecting a run, I think, from Chastity Grant.
Yeah, she's done well to recover there. I think what potentially we're seeing is the Aston Villa line just dropping a little bit deeper now because they're expecting Ndozi to go long, and it's just allowing that little bit of space for Brighton to try and play out from now.
That is probably the easiest decision that Ryan Atkin's going to make today. Angie Mang just mistiming her leap in trying to challenge for the ball.
Yeah, I'm not sure she was actually even facing the ball when she challenged Anna Patton then. But again, signs that they're going to go long, Brighton, try and play into Adjumang's feet. or for the flick-ons even for her to get players in and around her. Yeah, we can see her here. She's not even made any attempt to play the ball there, has she? She's not even looking at the flight of the ball at all.
Patton's dusted herself down to take the free kick. Delond. Quickly closed down by Seke. Hit Haley with her pass, who's trying to keep it in play. Bounced up off the arm of Rule. Not much she could have done about it, mind you. Doze with a bit of a hit and hope sort of pass. She's been picked up by Noel Maritz. Hansen trying to spin away. Managed to win it back from Kirby. Here's Delond. Maritz. A second go at the cross. Instead, she worked it back to Delond. Bying's ball in. And then thumped and deflected over and behind for the first corner of the game. That was really travelling from Wilms.
You can see the players congratulating her, probably because of how high she is up the pitch as well, Lynn Wilms there, but it's a fantastic strike on the edge of the box. It's just a little bit lacking in quality for me in and around the final third here. You can see ball comes in and across. Brighton can't quite clear the lines, but Lynn Wilms does so well. But right on the back of Madison Haley's head there.
Well, she needed to be in the way of this, Haley, because that was travelling and it was on target.
She catches it so well, and maybe something we maybe not so used to seeing her do as she comes into the season, but it's exciting to see obviously a defender wanting to get that high up the pitch, and she's got quality in the strike as well.
Played at the European Championship for the Netherlands. Coming from Wolfsburg over the summer. She was a Champions League runner-up with them a couple of years ago. Another pause in play for a head injury. It's been an unfortunate theme. I was going to say the opening 27 minutes, but the warm-up as well. And it does mean that Brighton are a player light as they defend this set piece, the first corner of the match. Something from the training ground coming up here by the looks of things.
It's something I love to see when teams take this much care into set pieces. You can tell it's obviously something that's been practiced on the training pitch, so it'll be interesting to see how this one comes off.
Make sure you beat the first defender then, Delond. The pack breaks. And the Dozy, not sure of what was behind her, I think, has to turn it behind for another. Going to go for the same routine again, I think.
Yeah, you can see what they're trying to do. They're lining up players like kind of Patton, Rachel Daly to come in and across and just crowd the goalkeeper. I think ideally they want to be a little bit swinging out on that one.
The tester for Nadozi, but a pretty comfortable one for her that time around.
Yeah, straight into her hands on that occasion.
She can bowl it out to McLaughlin. Palms outstretched, saying, is somebody going to make a move for me? Girls did well to put her under pressure.
Yeah, I feel like we're just coming into the half-an-hour mark now, and I think what I'd like to see is both teams stepping up the intensity a little bit. Sometimes it feels a little bit slow and a little bit laboured, and the quality in possession is not quite there. So I think a little bit of a next step, next kick up in intensity from both teams is what the game needs to see.
And as you can see from that, very even so far in pretty much every metric. Here's Salmon, though. Nadozi caught in no man's land for a moment there. Daly, is she going to test her here? She is. Rachel Daly, oh, and she's cracked the crossbar with Nadozi rooted to the spot and crossing her fingers an inch or two lower, and that would have been a spectacular opening day goal for Rachel Daly.
Yeah, I thought that was actually going to be Salmon that might try and do that as Nadozi was off her line, but What a fantastic strike from Rachel Daly. You can see this is exactly what we thought she was going to do. At times in the game, she just gets a look up, gets it out of her feet, strikes it, and it just crashes off the crossbar. But it's a fantastic strike from her, and not something I don't expect that we will definitely be seeing again. And Dozy was clearly beaten on that occasion.
Daly capable of the spectacular. Only Bunny Shaw scored more WSL goals than her since the start of the 2022-23 season. 38 and counting for Daly since then.
And maybe sometimes that's what we need to see, especially from the captain. You know, we're demanding that next level, that next step in intensity. Take the game by the scruff of the neck, and actually, can you be the one to lead the team on and say, actually, it's not good enough, guys. We need to be a little bit quicker, a little bit cuter on the ball.
Nice ball bent into the path of Daly from Hansen. Oh, just as she thought she was about to pull the trigger again, the referee blew his whistle. Must have been tight.
Yeah, and it's Hansen's first thought, isn't it? It's a great ball, just to try and get it into the path of Rachel Daly. See, she just looks up, plays it through onto the line. It's a very, very tight call. Rachel Daly's come first to it as well. It's tight.
No VAR in the WSL yet. Jankovic, two Villa players at her back, managed to work it to Madison Haley. She's doing her best to wriggle free from Wilms.
Excited to see how Wilms fares in this league, in the WSL. Obviously a Dutch international, over 50 caps for her country. She's an experienced player, and I think it's just what Aston Villa need in this side. Last season conceded and leaked far too many goals for me, so I think seeing a player like her, of her pedigree in their backline, is a real positive.
Well, Chastity Grattan had a bit too much to say for Ryan Atkins' liking. She is the first player to have a yellow card against her name in this game. It wasn't the challenge that drew the referee's ire, it was that.
Yeah, she's just reacted a bit too much there, hasn't she? The actual original challenge, there was, you know, not too much in it between the two of them, but can't really react like that.
Oh, and then Brighton almost taking the lead through Kirby. Well, no doubt they're having the better of the opportunities. Yes, Villa have hit the bar, but that was a shot from nothing, really. But Brighton looking as though they can cut through Villa's defence.
Yeah, Frank Kirby just using her pace here and awareness. Not sure if that's a cross-come shot a little bit there, but you can see what she's trying to do. You can see she's got her head up, she's trying to get it across, hoping that someone, Seiki on the opposite side, can get her edge on the box there. Not quite on this occasion.
It's really sloppy from Delonde. But they're giving Brighton some encouragement here.
Yeah, it's exactly what I'm saying there about that quality just lacking from the Aston Villa players. I'm not sure Ayoro will be too happy with her side and conceding possession so sloppily.
McLaughlin's back heel for Kirby. His rule. Kirby's clip, nice, into some space for Simons. Time to consider her cross. Whipped it across the face of goal. And at the far post, Haley couldn't quite turn it in after Wilms had failed to get it away.
Yeah, Frank Kirby just finding herself in a lot of space in the middle of the park there and coming out over to Simons, gets the ball across the box. And brave goalkeeping again from Sabrina D'Angelo, especially after the last two collisions.
Here's McLaughlin's been heavily involved so far for Brighton. A sense of attacking than defending. Trying to link up with Kirby, but Missy Beaukern's in the way of that one. Not a great clearance though, and the snapshot from Haley didn't really catch it in the way that she wanted to. But Natalia Arroyo will be concerned here because Brighton are getting chances and a lot of them are being handed to them.
Yeah, they're just a little bit sloppy in possession. Those unforced errors. This time it was Missy Beaucairns on the edge of her box. She's obviously trying to clear her lines, but doesn't go long enough or big enough.
Here's Ajimang. Thought about having a crack from range. In the end, she's teed it up for Kirby instead. Here's Seike. Now McLaughlin didn't want to hit it with her left foot. Slagers. Heavy spell of Brighton pressure here. Again, now, as has been the case so often, it's the final action which lacks the required quality. Salmon's able to beat Minami to the ball here. Hansen getting up to support. Minami wily defending.
You see Ebony Salmon there trying to go it alone and try and take it round Minami herself, when potentially what she could have done is just slowed it down, waited for players to come in and support her, because she did actually have players arriving on the edge of the box. But then on the odd occasion, we want to see Aston Villa players really breaking their neck to get in support of players.
Plenty of claret and blue shirts in the penalty area here if Patton can pick one out. That swinging cross is a test for Ndozi, who didn't feel she could catch it under pressure from Rachel Daly.
I'm not sure she was under too much pressure then. I thought that might have been an opportunity for a catch from the goalkeeper, but punched away to safety.
Here's DeLong. Yeah, just a couple of nervy moments for Ndozi on debut so far. Maritz. Time to judge a cross here. Noel Maritz heading for the dead ball line. Header away, hasn't really got the job done. Bying's challenging for it. Kirby getting it away. Ajimang sending it back in her direction. Lovely touch from Kirby to take her away from Maritz. Here's Simons. Fed it into the channel for McLaughlin. Ajimang waiting for an early delivery. Too close to Patton. Ajimang's not giving it up though. Forcing Wilms to put it out for a throw. And we're starting to get a bit more stretched as we head toward half-time. Slagers. Here's Haley. Deflection on that. I'll see it spin out to Seike. McLaughlin, edge of the box, wants it. Seike spinning. Oh, and just having D'Angelo backpedaling and feeling her heart race up into her mouth just for a moment.
Yeah, just a little cheeky one there from Seike. Just trying to tip it over the top of D'Angelo, not so on this occasion.
Well, what a ball that is for Hansen, and Ndozi's read that brilliantly.
Yeah, it's instinctive from Ndozi there, coming straight off the edge of a line, trying to get out, clearing her lines. That's what they need. They need a goalkeeper to come and do that and be brave for them. But the awareness there to see Hansen, I think Ndozi's done really well.
This time it's D'Angelo who looks long. Simon's far too much on that for Seike to get involved with, though.
Both teams trying to go direct early, and it's not so much of what we're used to seeing in the WSL over the course of the last couple of seasons. It's all been about getting the ball down, play out from the back, but actually both teams aren't afraid to go direct on this occasion.
Feels like everything in football is cyclical, particularly style of play. It was frowned upon, wasn't it, for a long time to knock it forward. And both sides have done it to reasonably good effect so far in the first half here. And Simons with a crossfield pass trying to find Haley.
Difference is when you do it, you need to do it with quality. So we don't want any type of hit and hope. So potentially what we're seeing a little bit creeping in now, we want to see that quality on the ball. And if you are going to go in behind, make sure you really get the trajectory on it and into the space to make sure the forward can get on the end of it.
Salmon trying to chase her own flick on. She did have Hansen there with her. 4 goal involvements in her last 4 WSL games, 3 goals and 1 assist. That's as many as she got in her previous 27, Ebony Salmon. one of many Villa players who finished the season in fine fettle. A nudge in the back of Seke there. It wasn't particularly subtle from Delonde.
No, I think she's just done there, try and slow it down, potentially getting under the cosh for the last couple of 5 minutes or so. You can see the ball's coming here, 2 arms in the back, straight down. Kiko Seke's bought the foul.
Seke's okay, that bounced up off her arm. Referee's assistant had a great view of that and said there was nothing wrong with it. It's just a little bit rushed and a little bit panicked from Villa defensively. Adjumang. Clever from Simons. Or from Cankovic, I should say. Here's Simons. Pushed it out for McLaughlin. Simon swept it in first time. Decent ball as well, all the way through to Haley, far post. Just couldn't get it under control. Cankovic has picked up the scraps. Haley still down in the penalty area. Brighton playing on. In from Olislagers toward Adjumang. Kirby might be able to make something of it. Now the whistle's gone. Both teams with the player down in the penalty area. Madison Haley thinking that she should have been given a penalty.
I thought that was actually really good, patient build-up from Brighton there. I think Adjumang starts to move out on this right-hand side, places it over out onto the left, and they just patiently build up into the box, which I think maybe they've been forced in the last couple of times. You see here, Madison Haley, not a penalty for me. Obviously caught a little bit on the edge there, but she's complaining of a penalty. I think that would have been soft. Aston Villa struggling to clear the lines.
Yeah, she's fallen over essentially, hasn't she? A little bit of contact from Byings, but not enough to make the referee point to the spot. And then it was Wilms who took a whack from Adjumang as they challenged for the ball.
Good defending from Wilms in the box. First to the ball, underneath Michelle Adjumang, who we know is good in the air as well.
Well, the physios from both sides have earned their money in the first half here. Be surprised if we get 5 minutes or so of stoppage time.
Yeah, they've been kept busy, haven't they? Good to see them taking the head injuries seriously as well.
Well, it was only 24, but lots of experience at the top level of European club football. And that's going to be key for Villa right this season, Fern, because they've lost some big players in terms of their importance to the club. Rachel Corsi, Jordan Nobbs, Maz Pacheco.
Yeah, they're experienced players that you're talking of there, and I think that's why I alluded to it before. I'm excited to see how she gets on in this side and to bring that experience to the back line, because not only is it on the pitch, but it's off pitch as well. It's in and around the dressing room that you're used to having players like Rachel Corsi. She was your captain, she was your leader. So for her to come into that back line, I think is good for Aston Villa. But as you say, to start the season, it will take time for these players to bed in and to find their feet. But ideally, they need to hit the ground running.
Is Minami. Olislagers. 6 goals when these two met here on match day 3 last season. Still waiting for the first this afternoon in the opener for both of these sides.
It's the first thought forward again, isn't it, from Brighton, and on this occasion it's Maisie Simons just trying to sneak in behind, but there's no space, and Sabrina D'Angelo does really well to come off her line and claim for it.
Daly, clever little reverse ball that for Hansen. Salmon in the middle waiting for a cross. Back to Daly. Clipped it far post, looking for Grant. He'll be able to get there. She could do with some support. So we're going to 8 minutes of stoppage time at the end of the first half. Still plenty of time for the deadlock to be broken then. Grant heading for the byline. Managed to get the cross in as well, just too high for Hansen though.
Just lacking that final bit of quality on the ball, and you can see what Aston Villa are trying to do when they get it out into these wide areas. First thought, can they look up? Can they get it into the box? But on that occasion, lacking quality on the cross. The players on this occasion were actually occupying the centre halves. They'd done what they hadn't done on previous occasions.
Here's Maritz. Got it back from Hansen. Salmon in the middle. Flag up for offside. We keep mentioning that quality of the final ball. It's the sort of thing that probably comes, what, 2, 3, 4 games into the season when you're into the rhythm. You can kind of excuse it on opening day, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. I think, you know, they're growing into the game, both teams a little bit. I still like the intensity and the tempo to coming up another notch, but as you say, they're just finding their feet a little bit and sussing the opposition out.
Nicely done by Hansen, an orthodox piece of control. McLaughlin quick to dispossess her.
You see, when she does do that and she gets the ball down, though, she's got 2 or 3 Brighton players around her and she's isolated.
Rule in trouble here. Hansen's managed to win it back, and she's going to have the shot on the spin as well and ask the question of Nadozi. Well, it was she who initially put her side under the cosh there, Nadozi. She managed to make amends by making the save, but more encouragement for Villa.
Yeah, it's good high pressure from Aston Villa and Rachel Daisy, but shaky at the back again from Nadozi. You see here she can't quite get the shot to go into the bottom corner of the net, and Nadozi does well to get down, but shaky times at the back for Brighton.
I feel like if we are going to get a goal before half-time, it's going to be because of an error from somebody more than a bit of quality. That's the way the first half's gone. Interesting to see Ellie Roebuck still out there warming up. We'll wait and see whether Sabrina D'Angelo reappears for the second half. Wouldn't normally see a substitute goalkeeper warming up unless there was a problem, of course. Here's Maritz. Grant feeding it into the channel for Salmon. Minami at her back, who got a toe to it.
Minami does well there, because you know what's first thought in Ebony Salmon's mind there is, can I touch it past her and beat it for pace? And on this occasion, Minami's done well, got tight and won the first contact.
That was pretty cynical from Jill Byings. That can't have been that far away from a yellow card.
Yeah, I feel like she's left her foot in late there. Jill Byings knows exactly what she's doing.
Productive loan in the second half of last season from Bayern Munich. Persuaded Villa to bring her to the West Midlands permanently. Seike. Oh, lovely little nutmeg on Delonde, and surely Delonde is going to get a booking for that. Cassidy Grant on the referee's naughty list.
Little bit of individual brilliance, what we're used to seeing from Seike. Just puts a nutmeg through Delonde's legs. She has to do that, she can't quite recover, but she does have a player coming in behind her, so I'm not sure she needed to pull her down there and take the yellow.
Puts pressure on her for the rest of the game. But both sides had a player sent off in this fixture last season. It's a set piece going to give us the first goal of the game. Kobe and Olislagers, the 2 players over the ball. Long way for Olislagers to come from the other side of the pitch if she's just the decoy here. 2 players in the wall to negotiate. Adjimang a likely target here, towering over most inside the penalty area. Was Kirby who sent it in. Minami. Jankovic wanted it, Minami hung on to it. Oh, it's worked its way through to Adjimang though. Some half-hearted appeals for a penalty. It's come back to Simons. Quickly shut down by Salmon. Brighton trying to keep their foot to the floor with just a couple of minutes to go until the whistle blows for half-time. Madison Haley. Daly got the block on the cross. That will spin behind for Brighton's first corner of the contest.
Yeah, all started off with the free kick out on this right-hand side was Fran Kirby. Great bit of defending from Anna Patton from the wide free kick. Brighton trying to keep the move alive, but just not really carving out that chance, that clear-cut chance in front of goal that they wanted. But they've won themselves a corner here, right towards the end of the first half.
Two arms in the air from Fran Kirby to tell her teammates where the ball's going. It's Haley who got her head to it. Really good delivery, that. Very, very difficult for Haley to keep it on target, and she was unable to.
Yeah, so often we see goals scored from set pieces. It's a great ball in. Madison Haley jumps, rises first, gets contact on the ball, but she just can't get the direction on the header. It's a great jump from her and a fantastic delivery from Fran Kirby, but can't steer it towards goal.
Again, it's a sloppy piece of play defensively from Aston Villa, which puts them under pressure when they didn't need to be. Delon the culprit that time. Here's McLaughlin. Seke trying to turn it round the corner for Kirby. Bying's able to clean up for now. Delond. Maritz couldn't get it under control, nor could McLaughlin though. Well, in a minute or so's time, I think both managers might be saying, cut out the sloppy errors and we might be able to win this game.
Yeah, definitely. There's only so much you can find your feet before we actually need some quality injected into the game, especially some of the players that we see on the pitch today. Emily Salmon, Rachel Daly, Kirsty Hansen. I think they're doing well in the areas when they do pick up the ball, but so often they're isolated in wide areas, and I think we need players to play closer to them. And on Brighton, they're obviously trying to play long, play direct, but maybe back to the football we're used to seeing them play, the 1- and 2-touch play in possession, and that quality that we're so used to seeing from them.
Well, there is the half-time whistle. No goals between Brighton and Hove Albion and Aston Villa in the first 53 minutes, as was. Fran Kirby busy as ever for Brighton, linking things up. Lots of opportunities coming from defensive mistakes. It's Rachel Daly who's come the closest of anybody to scoring, hitting the crossbar with a speculative effort from distance, but at the break at Broadfield Stadium. In this WSL opener for both of these two teams, the score is Brighton and Hove Albion 0, Aston Villa 0. So as Villa get the second half underway, can either side find a breakthrough goal here? We said that Villa's bench wasn't as strong as Brighton's. They've had to turn to theirs with a double half-time substitution. Let's see how this changes things as Grant whips a brilliant ball in. And Maltby straight away almost scored 16 seconds in to her first appearance of the season.
Yeah, she started really brightly, really lively. Grant with the cross coming in out on this left-hand side, and Maltby gets the shot, gets it out of her feet, but unfortunately on that occasion it's straight to the goalkeeper.
Here she is again, involved early on, but McLaughlin so impressive in the first half, dispossesses her. There's Kirby looking to move it on quickly for Adjimang. Didn't have the quality required to do so. Madison Haley. Both sides keen to start the second half on the front foot. Grant shoveling it into the channel, looking for Ebony Salmon. Minami able to sweep up. Here's Nadozie, will want her first couple of touches to be assured ones after a slightly shaky first half. Well, you heard the crunch of the collision there. And Wilms came off worse, albeit Madison Haley doesn't look in particularly good shape either. It's been a really physical game, this one.
Has been, and it started off quite physically. She's taken a booking here, Wilms. Obviously not happy about that in terms of 50-50 challenge.
High boot, though.
Well, it is late. Yeah, it is late, and it's justified. She's gone in with some vigour, some aggression, but it's a high boot. It's left a foot in late on Madison Haley.
So they took one of the back three off, perhaps because she was on a booking. And then Wilms picks up a yellow card of her own 2 minutes into the second half.
Yeah, and in the back three, there's been a bit of a tactical shift. So Maritza's come in into where Delons was, and little shift, and Maltby's gone out onto this left. Playing high up on the wing.
3-1 to Villa when these two met at Villa Park on the last day of last season. Brighton's victory in the fixture here last term very much against the grain. Villa have won 4 of the last 5 meetings in the WSL between these sides. Wonder if 1 goal might be enough to settle it today. Well, Brighton are going to get a corner here. We saw the quality on Kirby's delivery in the first half. Minami wandering forward from defence. It's going to be Marissa Olislagers who'll take this one. More of a traditional corner setup for Brighton than for Villa. Floated in by Olislagers, went all the way to the back post as well, and if Simons could have controlled that, she'd have had a free shot at goal from, what, 8 yards out. McLaughlin sends it back in. Adjumang couldn't bring it under her spell. Seike. Good strength from Olislagers. Twisting and turning into traffic in the end. Almost helped it on for Adjumang. Jankovic. Brighton wanted handball against Kirsty Hansen there. Referee saw nothing wrong with it. Here's Maltby into the channel asking Hansen to chase. McLaughlin, always favourite, dealt with it comfortably.
Yeah, she's asking a lot there, isn't she, for her to get on the end of that. Probably better ball, just give it into her feet. I don't think it was on really to go in behind there. And off the corner just there, Maisie Simons, she's seen it late, hasn't she? She's come across from Olislagers. I think she can get the touch out of her feet earlier, but melee of bodies and saw it quite late in there.
Robot like her opposite number will want a few confident feels of the ball early in the half here. Fed into the channel by Wilms. Good run from Chastity Grant, albeit she'd started it a fraction too early.
You can see what she's trying to do, get in behind. But obviously the back line of Brighton actually in pretty good shape there. There's no real space for her to run into, which is obviously what we want. Chastity Grant will be looking to want to do.
I think Michelle Adjumang's had a really good illustration of what this season's going to be like for her. Just saw there the challenge coming crunching in on her even before she got the ball. Word is out.
Yeah, she's finding it a little bit tough in there, isn't she? Every time she manages to get a touch on the ball, there's someone right up behind her, putting pressure on her straight away. So it's about getting that first touch assured straight away.
She's a long way away from where she wants to be now, though, with her team attacking with Madison Haley. Here is Adjumang. She's got a bit of space as well. Clipped by Byings.
Showing what she can do there when she gets the ball and she's actually facing goal and going towards goal, though. She can get a look up and cause problems for defenders. On this occasion, big touch. Managed to get it out of her feet with her pace and draw the tackle.
Well, Byings was lucky to avoid a booking in the first half. She hasn't got away with that one, though. And they're starting to stack up for Aston Villa. 3 players currently on the pitch. One poor decision away from exiting it early. Well, no doubt this is a shooting position. Simons with the armband on might pull rank. Olislagers is the other option. First big test potentially coming up for Ellie Roebuck here. Four-player wall to try and negotiate. Plenty of blue and white striped shirts in the box, but surely this is going to be a shot at goal. Simons or Olislagers then. Simons over the wall and just over the bar. Well, Ellie Roebuck will tell you she'd have kept that out had it been a couple of inches lower. But it was hit with pace and power by Simons.
Yeah, it's a dangerous free kick there from Simons. I mean, you can see what she's trying to do. Simons just tuck it in there in the left-hand top corner. Ellie Roebuck will say she's got it covered, but it's a fantastic strike from her, and I've seen her do that after playing with her at Brighton. She does have that in her locker, Maisie Simons. You see why she's the one being the one to take the free kick.
Meanwhile, Maltby down the line for Daly. Again, the flag goes up for offside. Is he going to go long here again, I wonder? Smacked it out left-hand side this time. Looking for Haley, didn't get the required elevation, but it's dropped for Ajimang. She managed to get it away from Kearns. Jankovic. Yet to really stamp her mark on this game, Elena Jankovic, and she's forced Madison Haley wide there. Managed to hang on to it under pressure, though. Here's Olislagers.
It's just a little bit static from the 2 centre forwards in Brighton, occupying the centre halves of Aston Villa. Be looking forward for them to come off the back line a little bit and try and create some space.
Ajimang. Patton able to hold her up. Grant smacking it from right to left. Hansen no chance of catching up to that.
And see what Frank Kirby wants to do there. She wants to get her head up. She wants to play it early. And she's just not on the same wavelength at that time as Shell Ajimang.
10 gone second half. Dario Vidicic starting to think about how he could affect things from the bench potentially.
Yeah, potentially. I think what he'll see is that actually the space is opening up for Brighton to play in on this occasion. Rachel Daly's just pressed quite high and quite nicely, but the spaces are opening for Brighton to get the ball down and play now.
Here's Olislagers. Haley. Again, Kirby found the pocket of space. It's a wonderful ball for Madison Haley. Ajimang the target. She's gone far stick instead, looking for Seike. And once again, it's the quality of the final pass which brings the move to an end.
I think it's what we just discussed, though, wasn't it? You say the spaces are opening up, and again, it's that awareness from Frank Kirby just to open up, get ahead. Up, ball through. Can she find Madison Haley out onto this left-hand side? And it's just that quality on the cross, just lacking from Brighton. And as you say, they do have substitutes on the bench and potentially looking to try and freshen it up.
Well, Brighton having more of the ball, having more attempts at goal as well. but having left their shooting boots at home so far, it would seem. Here's Daly's header. Here's Grant. Waiting for Salmon to come and help her. Went back to Wilms in the end. She's crossed it from deep. Too high for Maltby. Hansen scurrying after it. Really impressive work rate from Kirsty Hansen so far in this game. Shot from distance is a daisy cutter. Easily gobbled up by Nadozi.
Good bit of play from Aston Villa. You can see what Missy Bo-Cairns is trying to do from Noel Moritz. Just opens her feet, gets a touch out of her body, but she can't quite get a shot off, doesn't quite connect with it well enough.
Hollis Lagers. Here's Wilms. Villa's turn to ask a few questions of their opponent's defence, perhaps. Salmon. Wilms just a little bit on her heels there, could have broken for her. Here's Kirby. Seike. Ajimang bursting up ahead of her as she timed the run right here. She couldn't get the control on the ball, even though she had.
Yeah, they just couldn't quite capitalise on what would have been a really good break for Brighton there. Seike seen Ajimang put a great ball in over to her. She just can't get the ball under any control.
Rule with the challenge, but Hansen strong. It's a good ball as well for Maltby. McLaughlin quick to close the door. Elsewhere at Anfield, Everton are now 4-1 up. Ornella Vignola's got a hat-trick. Everton 4, Liverpool 1. Man United still 2-0 up on Leicester, still waiting for the first goal between Spurs and West Ham. Looked like handball from Ajimang. Certainly Wilms thought so. Simons. So, to my mind, a really good pass. For some reason, Seike couldn't quite get the touch, though. It's almost like a golf shot, that.
Yeah, I thought the same. It was a great crossfield ball there from Simons, but for some reason, Seike couldn't get a body across it to get the ball down.
Roebuck hasn't had a save to make yet since her half-time introduction. Haley. Scrapping, working really hard for her team. A game that's lacked quality in the final third. There's been no lack of effort.
Now, Haley is a little bit of a bright spark for the Brighton team in a game, as you say, that hasn't had the quality that we maybe would have expected. She's obviously shown a lot of energy and a lot of vigour. When she has had the ball, she's been tidy.
Ajimang leaving a little bit in there. Referee was okay with that, and then the challenge that followed, albeit on the advice of his assistant, he's given offside against Villa. Minami really felt the force.
Yeah, I think if it wasn't given offside, there's a shove there, isn't there, from Salmon on Minami. Both fighting for the ball, but you can see Ebony Salmon, she shoved Minami in the back there.
Players sprawled on the pitch has been a theme of the game so far. Hear the noise from the Brighton supporters coming from the atmosphere section of the East Stand. Brighton supporters group, brilliantly named Goals Allowed. This time Ajimang is penalised.
So neither team not really getting a foothold in the game again for the second half. lacking that little bit of quality. Someone like Miri Taylor coming on now. She does have that quality and likes to get forward.
Double change, Sarah Mailing on as well. Miri Taylor still waiting to make her introduction. And Jill Byings on a yellow card, giving way. Miri Taylor and Ebony Salmon, the two players going off there. Taylor's second season as a Villa player. Came in from Liverpool initially on loan.
Yeah, she finished off the season really brightly last season, especially in that win against Arsenal. So I think she'll be coming into this game just trying to inject that little bit of energy, a little bit of quality that they've been missing. Link up between the middle and the front three.
So Mailing's going to be asked to bring something to the Villa attack. Here's Haley. So that's 4 substitutions made by Villa already. One of them enforced by injury, 2 we think because of yellow cards. Brighton yet to use their bench. Good hold-up play from Adjumang. Here's Haley. Right into the referee's nose, brought to ground by Missy Bow-Kearns.
Vidas is potentially just being patient. You know, they're getting the chances, they're getting in front of goal, just lacking that little bit of quality, potentially waiting for a moment for an Adjumang or Haley to spark in front of goal and get that finish.
Haley wanted longer on the ball than Mailing was prepared to give her. Here's Kearns. Maltby fed it for Hansen. Waiting for Rule to commit to a challenge. In the end, it did break out back to Maltby. Here's Hansen again. Seke trying to close her down. And Cross didn't have sufficient quality. Well, she's looked as likely as anybody to unlock the Brighton defence, Kirsty Hansen. Well, not too much for Serena Wiegman to appreciate thus far. She's interested to see how Michelle Adjumang does leading the line from the off.
Yeah, instead of being that impact player that she's obviously so used to putting in her in that role, and she's not really had the service, potentially when the ball has come into her, a few stray touches.
Here's Seke for Brighton. Got it back from Kirby. Kirby again. Neither one thing nor the other in the end.
Just a bit of frustration creeping in, isn't it, for the Brighton players in and around the box, especially for someone like Frank Kirby, can't quite get the quality. But for all the chances they've had, Brighton, you're just wondering if they've not capitalised on them. And if, you know, Aston Villa, we know they like to play on the counter, play on the transition. You feel like one sneaky chance from then and it could change the game and tip it on its head a little bit.
Minami under pressure from Grant, managed to work it for Chankovic. Here's McLaughlin. Ball bent into the path of Adjumang was a lovely one. Looking for room for a shot here. Adjumang deflection on it and it clips the post on its way behind. Well, Patton did just enough there to get the little nick on the ball. Otherwise, it might have landed in the bottom corner of Ellie Roebuck's net, the closest that Michelle Adjumang has come so far. And the frame of the goal struck by Brighton.
Yeah, I thought that Anna Patton had maybe just given her a little too much time and space, but she manages to get a nick as she slides across. Adjuman gets a ball out of her feet, Anna Patton down the slide and tackle, and I think Ellie Roebuck just had it covered on that occasion, but good defending from Anna Patton in the end.
Holly Sluggers again to send over the corner. Third of the game for Brighton. Simon's around the back trying to get something on it.
It's almost like someone just needs to gamble that little bit earlier on these corners. It's the same as the last one. It came across in really, really deep at the far post and almost going a little bit too late again there, Maisie Simons.
Adjumang again. Here's Kirby. Oh, she wanted to work it first time for Seike. You can understand why. Came out for McLaughlin. Maltby with too much on that. Nadoza a long way from home, but she can watch it back into her penalty area.
I think Maltby's asking just a little bit too much there with Chastity Grant. Again, not getting the ball down and playing it into feet, looking for those spaces which aren't actually there because Brighton are a little bit deeper.
Holly Sluggers, 3/4 of the way through this game, feeling increasingly like one goal will be enough to settle it. Simons, a lovely pass out to Seike. Maritz did enough. Maltby did well under pressure from McLaughlin. Rule kept it from Hansen.
Nice and composed from Rule there. I think she did well under pressure and come back out and managed to find a pass into midfield. She's looked astute at the back today.
Here's Seike. Adjumang wanted to touch it off for Kirby. Managed to work it to Haley in the end. Adjumang will have it back. And she get the shot away. It's good defending from Sarah Mailing just to deny her the opportunity.
It's really good defending there from Sarah Mailing. Madison Haley does well on the edge of the box. Manages to find Adjumang. Good defending in the build-up to that. Adjumang just, again, couldn't quite get the ball out of her feet, but solid defending from Sarah Mailing there. Done really well since she's been introduced into the game. Little bit of a nick there from Adjumang as well.
Holly Sluggers. Big appeals for handball against Taylor there. Helped on by Daly. Taylor. Oh, that's a lovely ball. Great run from Hansen as well. He's got Grant in the middle here. Only hit Rule with a cross. It is going to spin behind for a Villa corner, though.
Good vision there from Miri Taylor. See what they brought her on to try and do. And that's at the time where you can try and play the ball into those spaces because the line is a little bit higher and there is space to play into.
First corner of the second half for Villa. Let's see if they go with that routine again where everybody hangs around at the back post. Looks like there's a variation on that now. Players clustered together on the penalty spot. Wilms waiting to send it over. Grant there for a short one if she wants. Goes in direct instead. Nadozi poured at it, got good distance on it. Again, she was unchallenged though. Decided not to catch. Back in from Kearns. Deflected into the path of Seike. She in turn Turned it over to Wilms, who's found Grant. Now Brighton can turn defence into attack with Seke. And Taylor did her a favour there because she was going nowhere, surrounded by Aston Villa players. And it's a needless free kick and caution given away by the Villa substitute.
Yeah, Kiko Seke just does really well to take it on the back foot just to take Taylor out of the game. Shoves her in the back, and obviously an obvious yellow card. I was really impressed with the way Brighton defended that then. Obviously, the Villa had a lot of the ball. Brighton remained firm, organised, and did really well to not to succumb to some pressure from Aston Villa.
Brighton are preparing their first change of the game. And it is going to be a double substitution. Bex Rayner and Nadine Nordum about to come and join us. More changes for Natalia Arroyo's side as well in the offing. Jankovic didn't get that hit powerfully enough to find McLaughlin. Here she is again, though. Oh, a lovely little step over there to take it away from Taylor and clip it in towards Seke. Well, it would have to be a special header to score from that far from goal, but it had Roebuck scrambling for a second.
It did. Quite surprisingly, actually. I thought as the ball's come in from Jankovic, he does really well to loft the ball in. It looked a bit too lofted, but Seke manages to do well, get some power on the header. Again, not enough to beat Roebuck.
Double change then, Frank Irby's the first number, which is up, so Nadine Nordum, the January signing from Ajax, can come on.
Nordum actually scored a goal in pre-season as well, so potentially she can bring goals to this side from midfield and give them that little bit more attacking presence and quality that they need in front of goal.
And as you can see, it's Kiko Seke, the other player, giving way. Bex Rayner comes on to take her place. In his second season after coming in from Sheffield United, she actually made a WSL debut as a 16-year-old for Doncaster many years ago. So first roll of the dice from Dario Vidosic then, as he looks to turn 1 point into 3 on opening day. His Grant working the channels. Daly immediately sprinting to try and get in a position to receive a cross. It's to make do with the corner instead.
Grant doing well there just to force a corner for the Aston Villa side. We'll be looking to capitalise on this after not too many chances in front of goal this half.
We're back to the first half corner routine here.
Just trying to cause a bit of chaos and confusion in there.
Big header from Adjumang. Maltby was back minding the shot. Here's Grant. Neither side prepared to settle for a share of the spoils, it would seem. Here's Mailing. Arrowed the crossover, just too close to Nadosi, though.
As much as she has looked a little bit shaky with her feet and Dozy today, I think anything in her hand area or coming in high, she's confident, she comes and catches it inside her own 6-yard box. Again, Grant doing well on this right-hand side. Sarah Mailing looks up early to get the cross in, but as I say, commanding presence in the box there from Nadosi.
Final 15. Can anybody find a winning goal here? Minami's header. Here's Adjumang. Jankovic. Everybody in a Villa shirt back in their own half of the field at the moment. Brighton trying to work the ball to find some space to weave it through them. Olislagers.
See what they were trying to do there, just couldn't kind of get the third player running just in time. Good shape and good organisation from Aston Villa.
Oh, Nadozie almost got herself in trouble there. As if to illustrate your point from a moment ago, Fern.
Yeah, just a little bit shaky when the ball's at her feet. I think if that is the case, then her players need to support her and get round her early, so there's options and passes in front.
Here's Nordam. McLaughlin. Simons from the edge of the box. Adjiman from 6 yards. Great piece of defending to get in the way from Wilms.
It's that experience we're talking about from Lynn Wilms. I think Brighton do really well here. They've got players coming in. Nordam just takes the player away and on the edge of the box. Comes into Adjiman. Great tackle from Lynn Wilms. Just showing that experience and body on the line. And that's what the defending we like to see. And maybe what they didn't have so much of last season.
Wilms clipped the free kick into an area, but only found Minami. Here's Haley. Trying to get away from Mailing, who's sticking to her. Rule up for Adjiman. Marriott's able to dispossess her. Roebuck can be forgiven for being a bit rusty with her feet. Still time, of course, but I think Roebuck would have liked the opportunity to make a couple of saves and show her manager that she could be first choice rather than a replacement, as she has been today.
Yeah, she's not had too much to do, has she, since coming on. As much as Brighton have had the most of the possession and the pressure, not managing to convert their chances in front of goal.
They do still have one substitute available, Villa, and it looks like they are about to use it. Here comes Georgia Mullet, spent last season on loan at Southampton. She's going to take the place of Kirsty Hansen for the closing stages here. Hansen's probably covered more ground than anybody else on the pitch today, so she deserves a rest.
I think she's done really well today, Kirsty Hansen. Again, it's just when she's had the ball, she's looked dangerous, she's looked to play direct. Again, the support in and around her maybe hasn't been there, but you know, interesting to see what the youngster Georgia Mullet can offer to this side today.
As we mentioned, Villa missing players who would normally be at least on the substitutes bench. The likes of Gabby Nunes not involved today, so they are turning to youth. Or given away by Taylor, that could be costly. In the end, it broke kindly for Marritz.
Just as we get into the latter stages of the game now and tiredness, fatigue kicks in, a bit of a lack in concentration, which we've seen throughout the game, but potentially players just need to be that little bit more switched on as we get into the final 10 minutes and reduce those unforced errors that we've seen quite a lot of today.
Grant carried it a long way, but then couldn't release it to the newly arrived Mullet. Olislagers. Here's McLaughlin. Brighton corner. Was the set piece going to give us a goal? Olislager's delivery's been pretty good up until now. Floated in this time. Daly at the near post took the responsibility away from Roebuck.
That's what you said about beating the first player, wasn't it, before? Can't quite do it on that occasion. They've sent a few in deeps, tried to be different there, but if you're going to do that, you've got to get a body in front at the front post.
That time the cross is spectacularly overhit from Bex Rayner. Not just Villa who've lost key players, of course. Vicky Losada, Paulina Bremer, Nikita Parison, Maria Thorsdottir among those who've left Brighton.
Yeah, and Nikita Paris scoring so many goals for Brighton last season. Again, she's a player that does only need one chance really in front of goal. She's quite clinical, so potentially just missing her a little bit today.
Next up for Brighton, they are at Manchester City on Friday night before West Ham come here on the 21st. And to Chelsea next up for Villa on Sunday. Back-to-back home games. They've got Liverpool to come later this month as well. Chelsea have representation here doing some scouting. Of course, Brighton managed to take a point off Chelsea last season. Not many teams can say that. In from Mailing. Oh, and the effort on the volley was decent from Missy Bow-Kearns. Would have been some goal had that hit the net rather than the stand.
Yeah, she's smiling, Missy Bow-Kearns, isn't she? Because it's instinctive from her. She just leans back as she connects with the ball on the volley and can't quite get it under the crossbar. But it's really positive from her to try and do that. Such a late stage in the game as well would have been a really important goal.
Brighton had totally switched off. She was all alone there. Daly's touch. Here's Mailing. Villa looking to finish strongly here. Oh, Mullet being grabbed by Marissa Olislagers. Well, it's going to be a yellow card for the Brighton defender. First booking for the home team of the game.
Yeah, Olislagers obviously not wanting her to get anywhere near inside the box because she's obviously beaten her for pace on that occasion, but free kick in a dangerous area here for Aston Villa. Especially with someone like Wilms lining up to take it when we saw what she did in the first half of that strike.
Yeah, you're going to be a brave player to be in the wall. She's going to thump one. A wall which will have to go back a good few paces from where it had initially been constructed. Well, she's been invited to whip it into the far corner here, Lynn Wilms. Here she comes then. Oh, Wilms off the crossbar with Ndozi beaten all ends up. Back in from Kearns. And Ndozi not required on the follow-up. Second time that Villa have rattled the frame of the goal. And once again, they are a lick of paint away from taking the lead.
Oh, it's a fantastic strike from Wilms on the edge of the box. I think she had all of us fooled that she was going to go in the opposite corner and just rattles off the crossbar, and really, really unlucky there for Lynn Wilms.
Well, Natalia Arroyo might leave here rueful that her team, as it stands, are going to take 1 point, but there's been opportunities for them to leave with all three. As Roebuck is closed down. Fern, it's up to you to pick the player of the match. Who have you gone for?
For me today, I've gone for Rachel McLaughlin, out on that right-hand side for Brighton. I think in a game where there hasn't been much in it, but I think she's been the driving force down that right-hand side. If we just saw a heat map of her in the first half, I think we would have saw just how she was up offensively and defensively, creating chances, and 2 really good chances on the edge of the box for her as well in the first half. So I think she's been a real bright spark for this Brighton side today.
Here's Haley. Still time for somebody to win it, but not much. Don't think we'll get the 8 minutes of stoppage time that we did in the first half. Ollie Slagers. Here's Simons. Oh, what an effort that is. Simons arrowed the shot, bound for the top corner, it seemed for a second, but just floated above the crossbar in the end.
Oh, Simons loving another shot from distance there. You can see what she's trying to do. Doesn't quite catch it right, and it sails wide of the post. It's a great effort from her. Fantastic vision to see that the shot was on.
Pattern. Both defences needing to keep their concentration. Difficult to do when legs and minds are tiring. But any mistake now or any moment of brilliance will be decisive.
A little bit of lack of quality from both sides there. I think if you're Ellie Roebuck and you're playing out from the back, you want to try and hit wide and hit the channels and gone straight into the centre for Simons. But fortunately for Roebuck there, she's ended up just giving the ball straight back to them.
Taylor. Not sure if she was intending to find Maltby, but turned into a good bad one. Grant, no flag. Anjimang back there helping out with a decisive tackle.
I think that's one thing we can say for Michelle Anjimang today. I think she's had to be defensively astute today as well. She's not been in and around the box maybe as much as we've liked, but she's worked out and worked really, really hard defensively. We see her doing it again there, winning the ball back from a team, and now they're on the attack.
Rayner. Here's Anjimang. Is there a twist in the tail right at the end here? Final minute of the 90. Nordham. Brighton going to make one final change. That is the end of Michelle Anjimang's afternoon. So no goal for the young player of the tournament at the European Championship today. Led the line with customary gusto. And it's Carla Camacho, new signing from Real Madrid, Spanish under-19 international, who's going to see the game out as the focal point of Brighton's attack. Anjimang looking a bit fed up as she made her way off there, Fern. She's not had much to feed off today.
Yeah, I think she looks a little bit frustrated, doesn't she? It's not being for lack of effort, but the quality hasn't quite been there today, potentially from herself when the ball has come into her, but also the lack of service potentially that she's wanted. But in terms of Carla Camacho coming on, exciting young player from Real Madrid. Possibly thought we might have seen her sooner, potentially looking like they needed a goal, but someone as well that's come back from injury in the past, another player that suffered the ACL injury unfortunately, but now she'll be looking to come on and make a real difference for this Brighton side, the Spanish under-19 international. 6
minutes as a minimum signalled for stoppages. Rachel Daly, the latest player to go into the book. That's the 6th booking of the game for Aston Villa.
There, it's a free kick in a dangerous place in the last 6 minutes of the game, which is not what, I'm sure, not what Rachel Daly would have been wanting to do so late on in the game.
Well, she'll be kicking herself if her team concede here. A couple of players lurking on the edge of the penalty area here. 4 in Brighton blue and white inside the box. Roebuck fisted it away and then got lucky that it didn't drop for Nordum.
The first bit of work we've had to see Ellie Roebuck do really in front of goal, and she's come away and fisted it, but as you say, fisted the ball away. But yeah, as you say, I think she's come away confidently there that she's managed to avert the danger right in the last couple of minutes.
Minimum of 4 left. Lagers hurls it down the line. Here's Camacho, the latest arrival. Done really well to hang on to it there. Great reverse ball as well. Shot was from Nordum. It's come back for Camacho. No deflection on that behind for a goal kick. All of a sudden, Brighton looking the more likely to win it.
A little bit of excitement in the last 5 minutes of extra time here. Camacho just causing nuisance of herself really here. Nordum gets a strike off. Camacho again getting involved, but again, it's not. There's no real quality on that shot in front of goal.
Jankovic won the header. It turned into a good pass as well for Haley. Here's Camacho. Camacho again. Haley. Not a bad idea. Camacho hadn't anticipated it though.
Yeah, just not quite on Madison Haley's wavelength there, Camacho, was she? But again, Madison Haley on the ball now.
Jankovic working hard to win it back. Here's Nordum. McLaughlin. Maritz at her back. No foul. Simons, right across the face of goal, begging for somebody to get a touch, and Michelle Adjumang watching on from the bench, probably thinking that would have been me.
Simons again, she's trying to be positive for this Brighton side and take the shots when they come. I just couldn't quite sneak it in at the far post, but real good energy from her. You see again, she just picks it up in a pocket of space and cross comes shot. Maybe she's trying to flash it across. Maybe if it's just a little bit more in the 6-yard box. There was Camacho and Haley waiting to get on the end of that.
Might well have been the last opportunity for a goal in this match. Here's Daly. One last chance for Villa, maybe. Oh, too much on the pass for Grant. Just for a moment, it looked as though it was on. A little bit of something between Taylor and Haley. A yellow card for Madison Haley.
Another unnecessary booking, really, there, especially so late on in the game.
Been a scruffy game, hasn't it, really, and punctuated by yellow cards aplenty.
Yeah, coming off the back of, yeah, it's just scrappy. I mean, it's obviously a foul there. She's not happy that Taylor's been nipping at her ankles, but you can't do that from Madison Haley putting players back.
One last big heave-ho then. Now or never for Villa if they want to turn a draw into a win. And that rather sums up the game.
Yeah, easy for Ndozi, isn't it? Ball straight into the hands from Wilms. Not really any direction or aim on the cross.
I mean, they're trying to win it back, but Maltby's done well since her arrival at half-time and defended that situation effectively. And that is the last act of the game. Well, these two couldn't stop scoring when they met each other last season, but on opening day in 2025-26, the points are shared here. Villa hit the bar a couple of times, but a draw probably a fair result, Fern.
Yeah, I think it was. I think there was chances, don't get me wrong. I think there was chances for Brighton to have taken that game, and really good chances from Aston Villa as well. Rachel Daly obviously striking off the crossbar. But I think a point is fair. I think both teams, one finished 5th last season, one finished 6th, so there's not too much in it between the two of them, and I think they'll go away happy with a point each.
Work to do in front of goal for both sides then. Full time at Broadfield Stadium. Brighton Hove Albion 0, Aston Villa 0. Well, Rachel Daly, one of the frustrated Villa players. First half effort of hers that came back off the crossbar, really the only sight of goal that she got in the game. I guess this is a better point for Villa as the away side, though. Yeah,
they're coming to the fortress that is the Broadfield Stadium, as they called it last year, the Brighton players. So, yeah, I think they'll be happy to take a point away from home in the first game of the season. Potentially players injured that weren't even in the squad today, so players to bring into the side. A lot for both sides to improve on, I think, and I feel going forward, which maybe it was to be expected, what we thought we might see a little bit of today. Lacking in quality, final ball in front of goal, but a positive that both clean sheets for both teams. I think they'll take a positive from both for that as well.
Nothing between them today, only 3 points between them at the end of last season, and all indications are that they're going to be around one another in the table again this time around.
Yeah, it looks like it. I think there's obviously been talk about Brighton and, you know, can they close that 15-point gap that they had last season between themselves and Manchester City and really break into that top 4. I think they've got a lot of work to do, if that's to be the case this season. But you say each game is a learning curve, and they'll take each game one step at a time and take the positives out from today, analyse it and go forward into their next fixtures.
Yeah, tricky one for Brighton next up, away at Manchester City. Dario Vidicic might fancy his chances of getting a first win on the board when West Ham come here at the end of the month. Difficult game next up for Villa as well, as they take on the champions Chelsea. But all square here on opening day for these two. And we weren't short of shots. But there might be some finishing practice going on in training next week at both grounds.
Yeah, you can see just how many shots there was, but on target for both of them, 4 for either team. And the shots have gone into double figures, so, you know, areas to work on, which I'm sure they will do.
Six yellow cards for Aston Villa. It was a niggly game at times, wasn't it? And obviously Arroyo made a couple of substitutions with that in mind. Wasn't exactly bad-tempered, but the fact that it kept being broken up by fouls kind of stopped any flow developing, really. Yeah,
exactly. And there was a lot of fouls in it because the game was so transitional. It was end to end, and it was getting scrappy. You know, balls getting led astray because there wasn't quite the quality on the pass, which led there to be probably a few too many late challenges and a few too many late tackles in the game, which we saw a few yellow cards in that as well. 6 for Aston Villa, 2 for Brighton. It wasn't quite the feisty matchup, but again, it was the sloppiness maybe that led to the amount of fouls committed.
And concern for Aston Villa as well after Sabrina D'Angelo had to be withdrawn at half-time. Ellie Roebuck having come on for her debut. We'll wait and see whether that is going to be a significant period of absence for her, or whether indeed Ellie Roebuck will be able to make herself the first choice. Right, we gave Rachel McLaughlin the Player of the Match award, and she is pitchside speaking with Lindsay Hooper.
Rachel, tough opposition today in Aston Villa. I think you knew they were going to be a big test, but what did you make of the overall performance for Brighton?
Yeah, I think overall it's one we should be proud of. A lot of positives to come from it. There's still things we can build on. We obviously wanted 3 points. We want 3 points in every game, so it's a bit disappointing on that front, but there's lots to take from it. We've had a positive pre-season, so yeah, looking forward to the rest of the season coming up.
There were a few Nearly moments, both for Villa and yourselves. Ajimang hitting the post too. Could you have asked much more in attack today?
Like you say, we've created chances. I think we just need to take them. I think there was a point where we had a lot of pressure on the Villa box. I know we had a few close calls, like you say, as well, in ourselves, but I think it's just taking them chances going forward and finishing off games.
Dario spoke to us pre-match about having everyone ready and talking about wanting to get this team to gel quickly. How positive are you that you can kick on from here for the start of the season?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we do need to take the positives from this game. It's just the start, obviously. There's a long season ahead of us. We've got a really good squad in, a really strong pre-season, and you know it's exciting what's coming up next. So we'll just be ready for the next one, and yeah, looking forward to it.
For you personally, how did you feel out there? You know, it's been a short break, short summer.
Yeah, it has, but it also feels like a long pre-season. So we're really ready to go, and just happy to be back out there playing again, and looking forward to what's coming up.
Well, Rachel, congratulations on the point. You are Barclays Player of the Match, so well done. Please take your trophy.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that. Thank you.
Always likely to be a defender who got player of the match in a goalless draw, I suppose, but it was just as much for what she did at the top end of the pitch as it was for doing her day job. Right, let's have a look back at the best bits of this game before we say goodbye then. First half had potential for goals, Fern, and it was Villa who were asking most of the questions, or at least looking the most likely to get a goal.
Yeah, I think they had the better of the chances in the early side of the first half, and then Brighton kind of came into it. We got the bright spark in Madison Haley. She managed to try and get hold of a few chances, which again, half chances I think we can call them, but Ajimang just couldn't quite find the net today. She looked positive in and aside the edge of the 18-yard box. It's Rachel McLaughlin who's our player of the match there. You see getting the strike off, but the second balls just wouldn't quite fall to them today.
And is it genuinely a thing that you can be rusty in front of goal when you haven't played for a while? Might we see some of these chances be converted into goals in, I don't know, a month's time?
I think so, yeah. I think there's finding your feet, isn't there? You see Maisie Simons here. What a fantastic free kick that is from her. They'll be practicing this day in, day out in the training ground, and, you know, a couple of inches lower, and that goes in as well. So that's another fantastic chance for Brighton.
Yeah, a game where genuine goal-scoring chances weren't that frequent. That was Ajimang hitting the post in the second half. It's really about the defending from Anna Patton here.
Yeah, I was impressed with Anna Patton. It looks like she's beaten, but she stays in it. She gets herself down for the slide and tackle and managed to just steer Ajimang's chance away from goal. And Ellie Roebuck potentially had that one covered, but great defending from Anna Patton.
Momentum in this game swung one way and then the other. That's a brilliant ball from Mailing. That would have been some goal from Kearns.
Awareness from Malin to get it into the box. Again, instinctive from Missy Beaucairn. She just can't get under it. And again, here we see Lynn Wilms with the free kick. Can't quite get it under the box. So we've got chances here. There could have been goal-bound chances. You see here, great strike, pace, power on the strike, and she just can't get it under the net. Gave Ndozie a scare.
That was as close as we got to a goal.
Yeah, we saw her do it in the first half. Lynn Wilms, she had a strike outside the box, which kind of gave us a little bit of an insight into what she might be about. But on that occasion, couldn't steer it in goal, and that's obviously ended up with the point apiece.
Right, we've heard from a Brighton player. Now we can go back pitch side with Lindsay, where she has Missy Beaucairns.
Missy, you've had a bit of time in that end of match huddle. What was being said there at the end of the game?
I think it was good to get a point away at Brighton. We've got a lot to build on, and it was about getting the first game out the way, being not getting beaten. I think it was a massive result away from home.
Was there any mention of the crossbar not being your friend today?
No, not yet, but I'm sure it will be on the bus. But that's football. Sometimes the luck doesn't go your way. Sometimes Brighton had chances as well, and we had some great blocks. I think it was a good game, quite end to end, and it's good for us to come away with a point away from home.
You had a good view of that free kick that hit the crossbar towards the end, but also for Rachel Daly early on, and you were there for a follow-up to try and get a goal yourself at one point. Did it feel like that sort of match of nearlies for Villa in attack?
Yeah, I think it's the first game of the season, not always pretty, and it's getting your rhythm, getting used to playing with each other in front of people and fans again, and I think it was just important not to get beat today, and we created chances, so that's the positive. So next week it's about scoring them.
You spoke about the opposition here with Brighton, and both you and Brighton have been talked about teams that can be 4th, 5th, 6th potentially this season. Did you feel that out there today, that level?
Yeah, Brighton are building something and they work well together as a team. They all gel, and I think you can see that it's a hard place to come, and I think Brighton will get really good results here. So I'm happy with the team's performance to build on. Obviously we've got things we can be better at, but it's a good stepping stone for going into the rest of the season.
Just finally, as a group, I imagine it was spoken about the start last season that wasn't as great, but you ended the season on such a good run. Was that part of the mission, not to get beaten today and to be able to start better than last season?
Yeah, I think obviously no one wants to go through what we went through last year and leaving it to the last minute, but it's a fresh season. We've got new faces, new styles, new tactics, so it's a fresh start. I think we haven't tried to think about what happened last year because some of the players didn't even go through it, so why mention it? But obviously it's at the back of some of our minds, and it's about performing week in, week out consistently and not putting ourselves in the situation we was in last year.
Thank you so much. Safe journey home.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nicely summed up by Missy Bow-Kearns there. Right, just before we leave you, let's bring you up to date with what's happened elsewhere today. Another convincing win for Everton at Anfield in the Merseyside derby. 4-1 the score there. Ornella Vignola, the star, with a hat-trick. 4 goals for Manchester United too. Might be a long season for Leicester City by the looks of things. A Melvin Mallard brace adding to goals from Toon and Turland in the first half, and Spurs snatched all 3 points in the London derby late on. Bethany England's penalty 4 minutes from the end of regular time has given them a winning start under their new manager. And that's where we'll leave things for today. Many thanks to Fern Whelan and to you for your company, of course. Sorry we couldn't bring you a goal. More to come from these two teams this season, though, no doubt. It finished at Broadfield Stadium. Brighton Hove Albion 0, Aston Villa 0. We'll catch up with you again soon.
A new chapter begins for the WSL.
Oh, what a shot! Oh, that's outrageous! Fantastic finish! How about this? Chelsea are the Women's Super League champions.